Hot thing. Let's blaze it up.
Hope you can take the heat.
It's Colin's Blazin' 5. Blazin' 5 in the herd. Raiders at Broncos.
All right, Denver's at home, but Oakland's getting 7.5 points, and this Raider team is not like other Raider teams. They, I think, have the more talented quarterback. They're getting 7.5. They've won 3 road games this year. I'm taking the Raiders and the points. Listen, Brock Osweiler's been very steady, and I like him. He's not a game manager, but he's not a star either. And his head coach, Gary Kubiak, is one of the more conservative guys in the league. He wants to win. In fact, Denver all year, they're 10-2, but you do realize 8 of their games have been decided by under a touchdown. Now, they've gone 7-1 in those games. But to me, when I look at this Oakland offense, this is a real team. They are the second most improved offense in the entire league, getting over 80 yards a game more this year than last. I think they got a puncher's chance. I'll take Denver to win, but 7.5 is way, way too much for me. I'm not comfortable. I'll take the points. Broncos win 27-23.
Titans at Jets.
Same situation here. Jets are at home, maybe the better team, but I'm taking Tennessee in 7.5 points. Under Mike Mularkey, 5 games, 2 wins, 3 losses. We know their defense is top 10 in total yards surrendered, and the Jets are only going to go so far with Ryan Fitzpatrick. I like the 7.5 points. The New York Jets defense is good, but the Jets have now allowed at least 20 points in each of their last 8 games. So they allow you to get points on the scoreboard. And I will say this, despite last week, the Titans in the fourth quarter, okay, the Titans defense is usually pretty good late in games. This is a situation where when I look at the personnel here and I look at the quarterbacks, I can make an argument. I have just as good a coach, I have a better quarterback, and I'm getting more than a touchdown against the Titans defense that's very similar to the Jets. The number doesn't make any sense to me. I'm going to take a 24-23 game either way, but I'm taking the points with Tennessee.
Bills at Eagles.
You know, I tend to like points. Okay, I'm somebody that likes points, but in this instance, Philadelphia is coming off their biggest win in 2 years. I think they're going to pull back. And don't forget, the Eagles have surrendered a staggering 20 touchdowns in their last 22 quarters. So I'm willing to take Buffalo minus 1.5. Listen, I like their roster better. I think they have a better running game. And Tyrod Taylor doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He can dink and dunk, but he hasn't thrown a pick in 187 attempts. And this year he's got 17 TDs and only 4 picks. So I get a mistake-free quarterback, a better roster. And, you know, as far as coaches, I'm a Chip Kelly guy, but Philadelphia is off their biggest win in 2 years. I think they pull back a little. I'll swallow the 1.5. Bills win 31-26.
Patriots at Texans.
We know the Patriots, Gronk practice probably doesn't play. Edelman practice probably doesn't play. Amendola probably plays. They're not at full strength. But do you know the last time the Patriots lost 3 in a row? 2002. And they're not in a great mood. And Houston's not a wild home field advantage. New England only has to swallow 3. Listen, the Houston offense, they can't run the football. DeAndre Hopkins is their one-man offense. I think the Patriots have big edges in coaching, big edges in special teams, big edges in running the football. And I think you're talking about a quarterback in Brian Hoyer who's immobile. And because Houston will not be able to run the football, will be forced to throw the ball 45 times against one of the better pass rushes in the National Football League, I have absolutely no problem swallowing 3 points here. New England gets back on its winning ways, 30-21.
Seahawks at Ravens.
So I'm going to take another favorite. I don't love doing this. I like points. But again, the number's the key. Seattle's only -6. If it's -7 or it's 7.5, I'd take Baltimore. But have you watched Matt Schaub play at quarterback? He is mid-30s and a shot fighter. Never had mobility. Arm is gone. And Baltimore is turnover prone. They've had 9 games this year. Think about this. 9 with 2 or more turnovers. And Seattle has 17 takeaways. And Seattle's playing for something now. The other thing that Greg Cosell said on our show, and the numbers bear it out, that over the last 3 weeks, Russell Wilson has become a true pocket quarterback. And here's an interesting stat for you. Do you know Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers are the only two players in NFL history with a passer rating over 100 with 1,500 attempts? He's wildly efficient and effective. Seattle playing for more, playing downhill, beats Baltimore, which is about as powerless offensively as any team in the league. I'll swallow the 6, Seattle 28, Baltimore 17. So I'm taking some favorites because I like the numbers with the favorites, and I'm taking 2 dogs, Tennessee plus 7.5 and the Raiders plus 7.5. That half point in both those games is a big difference. That's why Vegas does that. They lure you in. 7, 7.5. You know, you see that all the time with guessing the lines. If it's 3.5, I always tend to guess 3.5, 3, because at this point in the year, there's a lot of 7s and a lot of 3s on a lot of these matchups. So there you go, the Blazin' 5 on back-to-back winning weeks.